Shalom. We back with another video. This video here is how innocent people are being put on that blacklist, watch list that's happening all over the world that we know about. So we know that the blacklist, watch list, we know that it exists already. And we also know from James Cliff's story that this exists. And we know that she was an innocent woman who made a phone call to her counsel to report a drunk man trampling over flowers. And her own counsel thought that she was a thorn to their side, a bother, and they decided to put this woman on this blacklist just because she was a bother to them. And she was put on that blacklist. And the blacklist that she was put on was with sex attackers and violent and actual convicted criminals. She was put on that list. And she was being gang stalked, and it took her 4 years to clear her name. And she cleared it. So this blacklist, watch list, it exists. And there are innocent people's names being thrown on it. Gang stalking is a big thing, and it's all illegal. Okay, it's not legal. All right, it's all illegal. Illegal. Organized stalking, which is the gang stalking, was used by East Germany's notorious Stasi. The news and media will not speak on this, although they do know all about this. They won't cover any gang stalking stories as well. They won't cover it. You're gonna find it on YouTube. You're gonna find it on TikTok. You're gonna find it on social media. But your local news, your media, the stuff that, you know what I'm saying, your news, they're not gonna talk about that. None of those local radio stations, the popular ones where everybody tunes in, they're not gonna talk about this. So this illegal gang stalking was used by East Germany's notorious Stasi, and the tactics are still used by law enforcement, intelligence, and corporate agencies worldwide today. As you saw through the picture, the one headlight from the police wagon, the one headlight, you see, that's the Stasi. That's illegal. That's gang stalking. It's still in use to this day. So these tactics, which are illegal, again, this whole thing is illegal, not legal, illegal, include threats, slander, smear campaigns, you know, the lies, the gossips, street theater, mobbing, electronic surveillance, blacklisting, and vandalism. And you also hear the honks because this is spiritual, so it's monitoring spirits. So whenever you speak truth or say certain things, they gotta alert one another. That's what they do. This is spiritual. Those are demons. It's monitoring spirits out there in this world. And when you unplug from this matrix, that's what happens. You start to be spiritually gang stalked by fallen angels, jumping into people and taking the form and image of people as well. That's how deep this gets. But I'm just gonna break this down to you. I ain't gonna say too much about it. Like I'm gonna say about this list, but I'm not gonna say a lot what they do because I've been talking about it. So yeah, you know, electronic surveillance, the blacklisting and vandalism. This sick, twisted, illegal program is intended to destroy the targeted individual, meaning the innocent persons whose name they threw on the blacklist, watch list, those who unplug from this matrix and can see through the illusion of this matrix. You know, like the Truman Show, They Live, Fallen, The Matrix, The Truman Show, Terminator, iRobot, all of these movies, you know, those movies is pretty much all of what's happening out here. And this is more spiritual than physical, and this is literally spiritual warfare. But yeah, it's intended to destroy the targeted individual, the innocent person on that list, psychologically, socially, and financially. This program is the reason why you have so many mass shootings and suicides today. Y'all need to start questioning mass shooting stories. Y'all literally need to start questioning that. Start questioning all these mass shooting stories. Don't just listen to what they tell you. Ask questions. And not once do you hear any of those reporters on live TV when they be talking about the stories to bring to the world. Not one journalist or person speaking to the person who's giving you the information. None of them bring up the organized stalking, gang stalking, illegal COINTELPRO, the BlackList, WatchList, innocent people's names being thrown on it that's creating this mass shooting. You don't hear not one person talk about that. You know? And you be seeing all these cops and police chiefs and sheriffs. They never give you the full story or the real reason of those mass shootings. But they all know why. Just go to the Targeted Justice website and you'll see the TSDB, which is FBI's terrorist screening database. All of these files and fake dossiers with all of your names that have been put on this list with alleged crimes, and it's all lies. All of these files has been distributed in 60 countries, 18,000 police and sheriff departments, and 1,440 private companies. Yes, all of your jobs and all of your workplace participate in this illegal COINTELPRO, gang stalking. Remember, illegal, not legal. Illegal. All of this is illegal. You hear me? You hear me? Illegal, not legal. And this whole thing of what they're doing out here and all over this world, even in your jobs and everything, this whole thing is illegal. So when y'all see these mass shooting stories and these people on TV and they can't give you the whole story, or they want to hit you with the when we find out more information on the story, we'll let y'all know bullcrap that they love to pull, best believe they know, but they're not going to tell you. Because a lot of those times, those shooters aren't mental, crazy, or schizophrenic as they try to make the person appear as. They're not. They're not. They're not, because a lot of those people who end up doing that, unfortunately, were put on the blacklist and were having people illegally gang stalk them and harass them. And not all those victims were innocent bystanders. They were gang stalkers, and they were paid to illegally stalk and harass the people who are being thrown on that blacklist, watch list, and they're rewarding and paying people to stalk people that are being put on this list. And yes, they bump you, they cross you, they take pictures and phone. They do things and they don't want to tell you this. And some people, they can't handle it. And some of these people say enough is enough, and that's why they bam, 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 bam. Or sometimes they end and take their life because they can't take it no more. And they don't want to tell you when this happens that a lot of those people, unfortunately, who got murdered in this mass shooting, they don't want to tell you that a lot of those people were not innocent, and they weren't just there, that just wrong place, wrong time, that just got shot for no reason. No, they don't want to tell you that a lot of those people were planted there watching the person, stalking illegally and harassing them because of this terrorist blacklist, watch list that they're throwing innocent people's names on, and they are paying people to illegally stalk and harass the people's names being thrown on this list. They don't want to tell you that. No, they don't want to tell you that. But that's what's happening. Now, the word Stasi stands for Ministry for State Security, secret police agency of the German Democratic Republic. The Stasi was one of the most hated and feared institutions of the East German Communist government. Stasi was both intelligence service and secret police, and it engaged in severe violations of civil and human rights. The motto of the Stasi was Shield and Sword of the Party. The party was the ruling Socialist Unity Party of Germany. The main job of the Stasi was to prevent opposition to the party. It was one of the most effective and ruthless secret police agencies in the world. By the 1970s, the Stasi had decided that the methods of overt meaning an overt act of aggression done or shown openly, plainly, not secret, nor hidden, undisguised. Hence, when I tell you, all the color codings, the red, the blue, you see the pictures that I put up there. You see it. All of y'all who've been following me, subscribing to me for quite some time now. If you go all the way down from when I first started till now, from pictures and posts, you see it. It's in your face. The one headlights, the color codings, the faces changing to demons. Yeah. You know, and that's what overt is. It's done openly. So y'all see the ear touch, what they do. You know what I'm saying? I already did the ear touch, the nose, the flick of the glasses, the constant this, the lifting up the hat, the combing the hair feminine to the side. They do these things. They do it in your face. What else? You know, the one hand in the pocket with one hand free. Y'all see all the Masons out there, one hand in the pocket. They even do this. Police do it too. What else they do? The crossing of the legs. You know, the Eastern Stars. We also know the way how they tap their feet constantly when you walk past them. They tap their feet from the back. The cops do it too. That's how they speak in codes. It's overt. It's done openly. But a lot of people can't see that. The untrained eye is not going to catch that. Only those who have unplug, you see, because the Most High allows you to see this. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing. Because because the Most High allows it. So all of those tactics is what they're doing. You know, those are all secret codings to those who participate in this illegal gang stalking program. Remember, 22% of people are aware targeted individuals. 22% are aware, and they can see their surroundings and can explain everything that they're seeing, like I've been showing you and been telling you. And then you have 75% who are also gang stalked because they just throwing people's names randomly on this blacklist, watch list. 22% can see and aware of this. 75% are, and it should be higher than that, but they're being gang stalked too the same way, but they are unaware. They still asleep, plugged in, distracted, but they got people watching them too, doing tactics, throwing people their way too, but they don't even have a clue. So 75% don't know, and then the 22% can see, and they see that they're being stalked. They're seeing all the weirdness. Yeah, that's what's happening. Remember that everyone being put on this list, even those who are aware and those unaware, every single innocent person that's being placed on this blacklist and watch list, 97% of all of us, everybody on this blacklist, watch list, you heard the honk, boop, boop, 97% are non-investigative subjects. Non-investigative subjects, 97%. They just throwing your names and having people illegally stalk all of your innocent people. And y'all are non-investigative subjects, and these people are harassing and stalking and doing what they do. Yeah. Gangstalking is a worldwide industry, ladies and gentlemen. According to former NASA engineer Richard Lighthouse, 3.4 million people are on a watch list by 2018. 4 million by 2020. And there are 2 full-time handlers, and they are employed each day and night shifts, for illegally monitoring each innocent targeted individual being thrown on this list. We in 2024, so it's got to be 8 million and more of innocent people being thrown on this list. Now, this video that I'm doing now, this video here, is letting you know that this blacklist and watch list is real. And I just mentioned Jane Cliff. And also, FBI whistleblowers said they were ordered to put innocent people by the hundreds to thousands to bloat the terrorist watch list with your hard-earned tax dollars, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, our tax dollars are paying people to illegally stalk and illegally harass the innocent people's names being thrown on this list. Organized stalking, which is gang stalking, which is illegal, by the way, is numerous perpetrators targeting one person with the goal of causing suicide, which is what's happening out here, homelessness, because they do harass you at work, illegally gang stalk you at work, workplace mob you, try to set you up at your job, your little station, they throw people your way, they try to cause accidents at your job and try to blame you for it, electronic harassment, they do a whole bunch of things at your job too. It's illegal, by the way, but it leads to a lot of homelessness because they try to set you up too. And then again, mass shootings are high because of this, because some people can't take it and they go enough is enough because they see what's happening and they just bang, 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 bang. Or admission to a mental health institution because they do it in such a way to one another that they try to make you appear crazy. But they know what they're doing. This is all illegal and it's real. And Richard Lighthouse asserts that the CIA and FBI are involved in organized stalking, which is the gang stalking, and electromagnetic torture against thousands of innocent U.S. citizens, targeted individuals. Richard Lighthouse has stated that the government performs psychiatric fraud to maintain the torture programming, convincing the public that the targeted individuals are mentally unstable. And y'all still trust your government after the C word and the B word just got exposed? Y'all see what's happening. Y'all see it. Let's read what Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12 tells us. And we're going to read the 1599 Geneva version. Alright? Which that version came out way before King James version. Way before. The Geneva version reads, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, and against the worldly governors, the princes of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness, which are in the high places." Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. The Geneva Bible version, which was before King James. Worldly governors. So Richard Lighthouse stated that the government performs psychiatric fraud. And remember, when you break the word government down, the word govern means control. Ment means mind. Control mind. Mind control. MK Ultra. So they do these frauds to maintain the torture program, convincing the public, the doo-doo-doos out here, the, you know what I'm saying, the doo-doo-doos, that's what they are, out here. Those are the ones that's still asleep, plugged into this matrix, and they convince the sheeples that the targeted individual are mentally unstable. Richard Lighthouse writes that psychiatric diagnosis of mental disorders is a fraud. There are no chemical tests, no laboratory tests, no brain scan, no MRI, no CAT scan that can define mental illness. The electromagnetic attacks come from cell towers, satellites, and drones. The FBI and CIA routinely torture, kill, falsely imprison, and force suicide upon targeted individuals using electromagnetic weapons for mind control and nervous system manipulations, this is all fallen angel technology, by the way. The book of Enoch clearly explains the fallen angels taught all the secrets to heaven to mankind. Look at the CGI. Look at the AI. Look at Project Bluebeam. Look at the deepfake. Look at the Neuralinks. You think that was taught by man alone? You think that they had this all planned and they're brilliant and they can make this stuff up? No. Man didn't come up with that. Man didn't think that. Fallen angels. Okay? Azazel and the fallen angels and these reptilians and these draconians and these Nephilims that are still here on this earth, shape-shifting into people, possessing people, controlling them, and are underground and in high places. They are teaching these people all of this. And this is for entertainment purposes. Then you got CIA whistleblower Dr. Robert Duncan saying that the CIA continues the MK Ultra. Gangstalking, which your tax dollars, ladies and gentlemen, is secretly being funded into. Yeah, that's right. Because our tax dollars also went into the C word and the V word, which just got recently exposed. Yes, it was going on, but our tax dollars was funded into that too. So your money is going into this illegal program, Gangstalking, illegal COINTELPRO, and it's a mix of MK Ultra and illegal COINTELPRO. The CIA runs the electronic harassment, and the FBI runs the gangstalking. The CIA monitors your conditions 24/7 and controls everything and creates psychosis, regressions, helplessness, suicides, and homicides. Mass shootings, they create this. Heart attacks and cancers. All of this is a stage. All of that is orchestrated. That's why I tell you, street theater is real. Not all of these homeless people are homeless that come to talk to you. No, they were sent. They were agents. You see them with the color coding. They look at their handlers. They all look at each other who's involved, and they code one another. They code one another hands, and they all controlled. They all NPCs out here control, looking at one another. But these are all demons in these people. Low vibrational demons, but they are all controlled. And just like all these mass shooting stories I covered, especially Richard Card, remember the main mass shooter? He was gang stalked, and he was illegally stalked and harassed. And the interesting thing is that after he was found dead, significant damage was found in his brain. Yeah. Those brain injuries came from DEWs, directed energy weapons, fallen angel technology. Just like what happened in, allegedly, but in Maui, all those fires, things that were happening. DEW weapons exist, ladies and gentlemen. There are weapons from the satellites, from the sky. They shoot down. They cause fires. They cause chaos. DWs are real. And that's all fallen angel technology. Just like you had on April 1st, 2024, there was a mass shooting in Indianapolis where 7 children, ages 12 to 17, they were wounded. And interesting with this story here, that there was no arrest. No arrest was made. And police did not immediately have any suspects when it came to that story. No, they had nobody. But 7 children were injured, and they were from the ages 12 to 17. Now, why don't the Freemasons speak up? Because we know that your occult and your participants in the occult, we know that you participate in the illegal stalking and the illegal harassment on the innocent civilians. We see y'all out here. And we also know that law enforcement are also Freemasons too, because they got the one headlight, they tap in the back, they do the things, the codings. We see y'all. And we know that y'all participate in the illegal COINTELPRO, the stalking and harassment. But why don't you tell the people that you also, okay? Why don't you tell the people that you use children? Because those children that got injured during that Indianapolis shooting on April 1st, 2024, this mass shooting where they had no suspect, why don't you tell the people that you and all the sick and twisted people who participate in this illegal COINTELPRO gang stalking, why don't you tell the people, the world, how you are teaching and using children to participate in this illegal program? Because you are using children. Kids are being taught this. And parents who are involved in this, shame on you too. Teaching your kids this sickness to stalk and harass innocent people being put on this list. You're teaching them. We know all about the Demolay branch, the Demolites. We know all about that occult. We know all about that. And we know that you're teaching them all of this illegal COINTELPRO stuff. You're teaching them the codings, the color codings, how to look at one another. Yeah, we also know that children are also being used as foot soldiers to help them get other kids and watch other people. We know what's going on. But why don't you tell the people that you're using children? The children's occult, the Demolay branch, and part of this. And that's what those children who got injured in that mass shooting, why don't you tell people that children participate? Not all those children, which is sad to say, who get killed in mass shootings and also get injured. Not all of those kids were wrong place, wrong time, and this person just started gunning out. No, no, no. You're using children as well to illegally stalk and harass innocent people. And you're teaching them this wickedness. Yes, you are. Remember, gang stalking is illegal, ladies and gentlemen. This whole thing is illegal. It ain't legal. It's illegal. And it violates the 4th and 16th Amendment of the Constitution. And these fake files, these lies, are compiled against the innocent individual thrown on that blacklist to discredit them. The target will have warning markers placed against their files. The information is shared with relatives, all the stores you go to, storekeepers, whether it's to buy food, to shop, your friends, your co-workers, your job, the workplace. They will have these fake files sent out. And all the communities that you go to, they will have these fake files. And they will and these files are used to prejudice and slander the innocent individual against the target. And these files are not left behind. No, 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 they don't keep it. These files are used to engender the cooperation of friends and associates of the target. The files may have your picture and information about some alleged fake crime and the incident that the target has been flagged for and is under investigation. And the information can be very convincing, and it helps to further get targets harassed by these around them. And they're going to tell people, yeah, can you help us find out more about this individual? Because we're doing an ongoing investigation of this person, and we're trying to find out if such and such if this is true or not. Can you help us? They're going to say a lot of lies to these people all over about you. Fake files and fake dossiers. Yeah, they're just throwing people's names randomly. Again, I did a story on Jane Cliff. Research Jane Cliff. Innocent woman who made a phone call to her counsel because a drunk man trampled over flowers. And because she called them to tell them this, they thought that she was a thorn to their side, a bother. And they placed that innocent woman on a terrorist watch list and on that blacklist, which with sex attackers and violent people, and she was being illegally stalked and harassed, and they put her on that list because she was a bother. This is real. And this list, they're taking anybody's name, innocent, and they're throwing your names on this with sex attackers, terrorists, violent people, and they're saying a whole bunch of lies on you. And this program is creating a lot of mass shootings and suicides. It is. Yeah. It's sick. And gangstalking is a spiritual warfare. You're being watched and stalked by the occult, by witches, by warlocks, by Satanists, by FBI, CIA, fusion centers, NASA, DOJ, government workers, etc. Demons as well, fallen angels, because the ones who's really behind it are the fallen angels, the demons, the reptilians, draconians, Nephilim. They're the ones behind it. You're seeing people through the stuff they do through the flesh. But there's a spirit behind it, or whispering in their ear, or controlling them to just stalk your light. Stalk you. And code one another. Demons coding other demons because they know who they are. And they can't speak and say, yo, you see your target? Yo, I'm stalking this person right here. Yo, they're going to your left. They're crossing the street. You got him? You got her or him? They can't do that. So they got to tapping the feet. They're looking ridiculous, but that's what they do. They have to speak in codes and symbolics. Just like the cruise ship that I just posted. You see, secrets. Everything is all secrets in this world. They speak in codes and symbolics and numerology. They love to speak that way. Just like Pizzagate, pizza. There's code words. There's hand signals for things that they do. They're not going to tell you what they're doing. No. And that's why they watch you hard, because they be like, how the hell does he or she know all of this that we do, or know all of this? How do they know this? It ain't me. It's the Most High. The Most High, God, reveals things. He reveals things. He shows things. What the hell? It's all God. It's all God. It's all God. It's all the Most High. Once that veil is lifted and your spiritual eyes is open and you unplug from this matrix, that's when you're going to see all the weird things. You're going to see the weird things. All of it. And the faces change, and the astral projection, and the glitch. You're going to see weird things. You're going to see scripted things. You're going to see through people. And you're going to see their demons too, and you're going to see those who are not human. You're going to see a whole bunch of things once that veil is lifted. Again, watch the movie They Live. That's the truth. Watch The Truman Show. That's the street theater orchestration. All these people are actors and NPCs controlled. Literally. Fallen with Denzel Washington, The Matrix. All of those movies is what's happening out here. That's the truth. That's the truth. Yeah, man. Yo, it's wild. And this is all spiritual warfare. And the thing is that, you know, these people are still plugged in asleep. And they're going to be used by these spirits. Yeah. And they are all under MK Ultra and demonic possession. And you are being lied on. And you're being stalked by these individuals. And innocent people are being put on this list. And if you are a person exposing truth and bringing an awareness to people, whether they are asleep or awake, but you're just bringing things to light, expect to become a targeted individual. These demons will do anything to keep you silent, to distract you, to throw you off your course, and they will try to do their best to get you back to where they once had you. And if you fall for the distraction, they're going to throw more people your way to keep you distracted. They're trying to do their best to stop all of this, stop all y'all plans, and stop what y'all got going on. That's what they're trying to do. And when you unplug from this matrix, you will see how deep this rabbit hole goes and how dark and wicked this world really is. And everything in this world is an illusion. And a lot of it is scripted and orchestrated. And your discernment will show you. Now, the FBI whistleblowers, right? Gerald Sosby, Mike German, Steve Friend, and Kyle Serafini said they were ordered to put innocent people on the terrorist watch list to bloat it for fundings. And during the time of the FBI Director Christopher Wray, 600 agents quit because of corruption, and informants were paid over $5 million and committed over 20,000 authorized crimes. And don't you love it when they tell us that we have no money, or we low on it? You know, they love to say that, the government, or even when the president, when they speak on TV, we have no money. We are very low on money. And they want to control your money in the banks and all this stuff. Meanwhile, they have all the money for wars, for soldiers, for illegal crimes, for the C and V word, which just got exposed. Yeah, they got money for all of that, right? For all those wars and violence they create with our tax dollars, ladies and gentlemen. Not only that, they got money to throw people on this blacklist, watch list, and have people wage a war amongst ourselves. Having people do mass shootings and suicide, having people illegally stalk and harass innocent people, having people go against one another to create a narrative and say, you see, we have so much mass shootings in this world. So many people, look at this. We need to gun control. We have to control we have to have control over the rights for people to carry guns because of all this mass shooting. But they don't want to tell you that innocent people being put on this list that's creating mass shootings, and then all the people who are being killed, they're not innocent bystanders that just got hit. They are illegally stalking these people who are being put on this blacklist, watch list, with a fake file and a fake dossier on them, with a fake alleged crime, to have communities, their jobs, family, relatives, and people who know them and don't know them stalk them illegally, and the police involved because they help out with this illegal program. The crooked ones. You got the good ones who, they're not speaking out on this, but they know, they are aware. But the crooked ones, they work with the people and do the illegal stalking. You saw the police wagon with the one headlight. That's illegal COINTELPRO. That's gang stalking. It's done in your face. And these people who are seeing this, getting bumped on purpose, but the person who bumped them is looking at the cop, looking at the other people involved in the gang stalking, coding one another to get a reaction out of the innocent person. So that way, if that person reacts, they're all going to look at you. You heard that? Look at you and say, look, this person is the problem. The file says this, and look, we got that reaction. Look. You see? But in reality, they're setting people your way, crossing in front. They want reactions. And it's a sick, twisted program. And some people say enough is enough. They get tired of this, and they just go on a shooting spree and say, yo, screw everybody. Yeah, and they don't want to tell y'all that there are people illegally stalking and harassing people who are being put on this blacklist and watch list. And yet, we don't have no money and all that, but our taxes is going into this. It's a big industry of this. This is happening all over the world. So apparently there is money. And all our money is going into that. And there are people doing what they're doing. They don't want to tell you that. The news and the media knows, but they don't want to tell you that. And it's real, and it's happening right in your face. Nothing has been covered that will not be exposed. Whatever is secret will be made known. Whatever you have said in the dark will be heard in the daylight. Whatever you have whispered in private rooms will be shouted from the housetops. Luke chapter 12, verse 2-3. And the C and the V word just got exposed. What you think? All of this that's happening in this world to people innocent, that this illegal COINTELPRO, you think that's not going to go to light? You think that is just going to happen all day and people ain't going to get their justice, and the Most High is not going to do what he's going to do? Because the Most High is going to, he's going to do what he's going to do. He sees, he knows what's going on. That is going to get light shined on it too. Every illegal thing that they're doing is going to get exposed. It's going to. It is. And they are going to push these stories, but they're going to make sure to distract you on celebrities, on other nonsense things, and push these stories that get exposed, but push it somewhere else so people won't know or see what's going on. And then they get mad at those who catch on to this and share it. And share it. And God bless those people who catch on to that and bring an awareness so that way people can wake up and be observant and be like, yo, this is what's really going on in our world. Yeah, God bless those people. God is using people. to wake y'all up so y'all can see what's going on. Now, y'all know about this list, right? You know, the FBI, the Jane Cliff, this BlackList. So there are also ways to be put on this same list, and I'm gonna tell you how people are being put on this list. It's all the same list. It's the same list. All right. Now you have some people, because it's not only we already know the council put Jane Cliff on that blacklist, watch list. Remember, it's the same list. It doesn't change. It's the same list, but there are many ways that people are being put on this list. Jane Cliff, her council put her on that. FBI whistleblowers said they were ordered, so they're doing this too. They're just throwing your name randomly. Now there are other ways how people are getting thrown on this list too. Same list. So people are being put on this list through a marriage that can end in a divorce. Remember, gangstalking is all out of jealousy and envy. So, the people who put people on this list, they have to be either powerful people or know powerful people. These people are connected people who know certain people to do this. So it can be a divorce. You married your partner and you decided to divorce this person. That person, out of anger, jealousy, rage, envy, if this person is a cop, fire department, military, government official, if the marriage and that person and that spouse was in these fields, they can put their partner on that blacklist, watch list, to have that person being watched. And there's a lot of envy and jealousy. So divorce they can throw your name on that list for divorce. And it's not only with cops, fire department, all that. It can be regular boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. Your regular boyfriend-girlfriend as well. And if your boyfriend or your girlfriend is either in cults or has connections and knows powerful people, they can mention your name and they can throw your name on this list too. So divorce and end in a relationship can be put on that list. And then you can also have what else? You have, like, even with the military, if there's a soldier who decides that they want to leave the military, or cops or fire department, if there's anybody in those officials, even government workers, if they see certain things that they don't follow or think is cool and they want to leave, they're going to put this person as a whistleblower or etc. And they're going to put that person who works in these departments on that blacklist, watch list, to be gangstalked with a fake file and a fake dossier saying, keep an eye on this person's dangerous, blah, blah, blah. But meanwhile, they just want to watch you, observe you, and they just want to try to ruin your life and have people just watch you. You know, so there are plenty of ways that people get put on this list. It's the same list, you know. Even if you find yourself in court, right? If you find yourself in court and you end up winning this case, if you won this case, and let's say this case of yours, you got an officer in trouble and they lost their job, but they were in the wrong and you was in the right, and you got a settlement out of this court case. You won. You got a settlement, and it doesn't even have to be with a police officer. It could be with your job or anything. The point is, you won your case, they lost. If it was with an officer, that officer, out of retaliation, revenge, retribution, envy, they can throw you on that list too. If it's your job, your workplace, and you had them in court and you won a settlement, they can do that too and put you on that same list. Remember, it's all about them knowing people in power, having connections. It's the same list. So there are ways, many ways, that they are putting people on that blacklist, watch list. Innocent people, okay? So those are ways too. And even at your work, it doesn't even have to be with going to court. Even at your job, your boss, someone in HR, anybody, they can just throw you on that list out of jealousy or envy just because. Yeah, they can throw you on that list just because. Or they can put you on that list because supposedly they heard a lie or heard something and they thinking you're a whistleblower, or they thinking this and that, which it could be a lie from a gossip, and they're going to watch you and throw you on this list too. That happens as well too, you know. But remember, this is all out of jealousy, and this is all out of envy, this list that they're putting people on, you know. So even if you're a whistleblower, you may know something about the company, etc. It could be many reasons. Or even just because somebody don't like you, you know, or they heard a lie. But if they don't like you, they could throw you on that list too. It's all illegal. It's all illegal, you know. And these are ways that they are putting people on this blacklist, watch list. I'm just letting y'all know those are ways that they can be, that you can be put on that. Those are ways. Family can put you on that too. There's so many ways. But this blacklist, watch list exists. And the government keep an eye on individuals that know too much. These individuals are known as targeted individuals. I like to say enlightened, out of the box thinkers. Some plug from the Matrix. Spiritual awakening people who can see through the illusion of this Matrix. They watch y'all heavy, you know. And you know, they have been labeled as lone wolves by the CIA. I mean, look in the skies. You see the aircrafts constantly flying over your home, over neighborhoods. Operation Quiet Skies, as Sonia Labasco said. And Sonia Labasco is the only individual who actually exposed gang stalking, because she said it on live TV about during that fake orchestrated raid in the White House. She even said it that there were people flying into D.C., a man going to a funeral, people for family, had nothing to do with that raid event, which was orchestrated and staged. But these people flew in, doing their own thing, and those people flying in to do certain things, even to go to a funeral, they were put on a terrorist watch list. And they had nothing to do with that raid. These people knew nothing about that, and they were put on that. And that came out of Sonia Labasco's mouth. I did a story on that. I got a video on that on YouTube. You know, she's the only person so far that has on TV exposed this illegal COINTELPRO. And she even said it out of her own mouth that there are people aware that they're being illegally watched and stalked. She said it. She said it. And if you go to the targeted justice, which I put in the community and explaining it to you, it tells you 22% are aware, 75% are unaware, and 97% of everybody on this list is uninvestigative subjects. They're non-investigative. They're just throwing your names on it to create mass shootings, suicides to watch. They want to create it. They're calling you a terrorist. That's what they're doing. The CIA, the FBI, the NSA, Northcom, Citizens Corp, InfraGard, and their partnerships harass targeted individuals for being on the watch list. And this is spiritual warfare, and this is also psychological warfare. Gang stalking is America's secret police Stasi network, FBI, CIA, FEMA, Homeland Security, COINTELPRO, psychological warfare operations COINTELPRO, community policing equals illegal organized stalking, surveillance COINTELPRO, crimes, smart devices, cyber crimes, illegal hacking, monitoring, tracking, and surveillance, FBI, CIA, NSA, DOJ, FEMA, police departments, nationwide national sheriff associations, small business corporations. Yes, all of your jobs, ladies and gentlemen, your workplace participates in this illegal gang stalking COINTELPRO. Tech companies, military and private contractors, community watch groups and neighborhood watch groups. Yes, that's the people where you live at in the communities as well, and the communities that you go to. Yes, there are fake files and dossiers. There are people stalking, people color coding, speaking how they speak. They do it in your face. This is all gonna get light, but this is it. Y'all need to know this. You know, fire departments, EMTs participates in this. Oh, let's not forget about the church groups, the innocent church groups, all the cults. But a lot of people in churches, they participate in the illegal gang stalking as well. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If you are a person who visits a church for the first time, You know how they love to say, can we get your information? And they want you to sign that paper so they could get to know your information, where you live at. They're going to gang stalk you too, because people in churches, I don't care what church it is, people in churches, because the agents are in the church, the witches and warlocks are in the church, Masons are in the church, it's corrupt. They participate in the illegal gang stalking too. All right? So if y'all go to a church, if y'all visit, don't sign those papers that they want y'all to sign, especially if you're a first newcomer in there to watch the church and be observant. Don't sign those papers, because that's how they get your information, and that's how they get the people in the church to illegally gang stalk you and watch you, because the agents are in the church. And none of your YouTubers and none of the people who you be seeing that goes to church and in church preaching, they're not going to talk about gang stalking. They're not going to talk about gang stalkers in the church, the agents in the church. And they're not going to talk about those agents in the churches that participates in the gang stalking. And they're not going to tell y'all about those papers when they want y'all to sign your name and get your information. They're not going to tell you that they got people in the congregation and in the church illegally gang stalking and harassing the person on that list to get the information, because the agents are in the damn church too. And it's all a cult. Yeah, I said it, because y'all see it too. And they do the same thing in the church as well. They do all of that in the church. What you see outside is what you're going to see everywhere you go, because that's how demons speak, and low vibrational people speak. That's what they do. The agents are in the church. Yeah. So the church groups, they participate in gang stalking as well, because you got people in the congregation laying hands on people, demon-filled, suppressing that person's demon, not delivering them, fooling them, thinking that they got delivered. You got the pastor up there not telling you about repentance and sin, because this person is living in secret sins, not confessing. And if somebody brings up a certain talking about sin, they're going to get convicted. Churches like to play politics and say what you can and what you can't speak. It's a whole game in there. Yeah, y'all know what's up already, man. It's a joke in a lot of these churches, and a lot of them operate in cults, like a cult. A lot of them, if you see and watch. But the agents are in the church, the witches and the warlocks, putting demons. You see what's going on in the church, all the false doctrines, false prophets, false teachers. Now, I'm not saying, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a prophet, I am none of that. But I'm not going to be in a church having people sit down and teaching them false lies, and they got a demon, and you're living a certain way. No. I'm not going to play those games. I'm not going to lie to the people and then want y'all to collect money. Give me money. Give me money. Churches nowadays are more about having people in their church for a business than what it is talking to you about repentance, hell, and there's no conviction in the church, in none of these churches. And they're not talking to none of these people like, yeah, they're not bringing the gang stalking awareness, what's happening out here. They're not talking to y'all about that in these churches. They're not talking to you how demons operate, jump into people, how they code one another, what they do. They're not talking to you like that in these churches. They're not. In fact, it's a joke, because they gossip in the church, just like what they do out there. They gossip about the people in their own church. They're gossiping in the church about another brother, another sister. And some of those people in the church as well, they're sleeping with people's husbands and wives. There's cheating and adultery in these churches too. A lot of that going on. The pastor sleeping with the sisters and people in the congregation. Jezebel is in the church. And they're all doing certain things. And they play politics in church. Politics. So yes, church groups participate in the illegal gang stalking too. So like I said, and I'm going to say it again, all of y'all who go to these churches for the first time, do not sign that paper that they want you to sign to get your information, because a lot of them, they participate in the gang stalking as well. Then they get, then you got your family, then you got your friends, then you got your co-workers. They all participate in it. They all participate in it. A lot of them do. But remember, this is all spiritual warfare. These are monitoring spirits jumping into these people.